Yeah, I'm gonna try to hit this shit. Alright. Check it out.
Shalom, 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 Israel. Welcome again to another Wednesday night law class. My name is Priest and Officer of 500 Kayadwan from I.S.U.P.K, Jamaica. I.S.U.P.K started 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I.S.U.P.K is run by Commanding General YAHANNA, the one man with the rank and the authority to lead the nation of Israel at this time. I say Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai Barakatham to my brothers. Yahweh Shamar Alathan Ba'asham Yahweh Shai to my sisters. All right. Select about, you know what I mean, the glitchy start. You have some internet problem, you understand? But hopefully, most of your load can take you through the class. See? All right, so we're going to talk about the Kenya situation where Kenya, you know what I mean, send troops to Haiti, you know what I mean, to our brothers and sisters, you know, where our brothers and sisters live in Haiti, you understand? So, basically, with the help or with the what you call it now, with the push of America, Kenyan police is now in Haiti, you understand, to what they claim to bring stability to Haiti. See? And that is hypocritical. You understand? And we know that even our foolish leader, them even, you know what I mean, send, you know what I mean, are thinking about sending police or whatever to, you know what I mean, to Haiti to them claim bring stability. But all of this is through the oppressor. All of this is being promoted by the oppressor because they want to rape Haiti for the resources where Haiti have. You understand? And the oppressor, through America and the UN, you understand, they are promoting this. But in particular, we're going to talk about the Kenyan them. See? Because whenever we need any kind of, we call it moral support or strength, we never yet see the African them come. You understand? We never see the African them give us moral support or backing or stand up for our rights them. You understand? In any way, shape, or form, we have never seen that. Never. There has never been a time when the Africans them, you know what I mean, fight for the rights of Jamaican, you know what I mean, Trinidadians, you know what I mean, Haitians. We have never seen Africa, any African country stand up for our, you know what I mean, plight before. See? As a matter of fact, whenever we go through any, way they call it, problem down here, them quick for call it foolish and stupid and backward. You know what I mean? Them always have some kind of name to give us. You know what I mean? To criticize our handling of things. See? But they never yet give us moral support like we do for them. And the reason why we ended up giving, you know what I mean, these African countries our moral support is because we are conditioned to thinking that we and them are the same people. That is what we learn through the oppressor's education system, that we are Africans. You understand? So whenever we see some atrocity happening over there in Africa, we are the first to jump up and say, free them or pray for them or, you know what I mean? But we have never seen that, you know what I mean, that gesture being returned back to we from Africa. You want to name it, you want to show me. We see Cuba fight for our, you know what I mean, cause before. You understand? We here in Jamaica, we fight for the plight of Haiti many a times. See? We fight for the, you know what I mean? We get sympathy from our black American brothers. You understand? But we have never gotten sympathy. You know what I mean? And when we say we, I mean all of us over here in the West has never gotten sympathy from Africa. There has never been an African nation to get up and say, well, we don't like how, you know what I mean, the leaders over there are exploiting our quote-unquote African brothers because them say we are African. See? As a matter of fact, as I say, it is always criticism. Nobody cry for we. See? And look, you know, instead of giving their moral support or, you know what I mean, telling America and the UN to get out of Haiti and take them noses out of Haiti because we know that it is America who make Haiti in the condition that it is in right now, causing chaos and poverty so that, you know what I mean, now there is like this gang uproar that took over the island right now. We know that America is the one that caused it, who set the groundwork for all of that happen. We don't even know if America have hands in the gang that is taking place over there still. But what we are saying is we know that America set the groundwork. See? So, and Haiti has been, you know what I mean, the most, way they call it now, when it comes to tragedies, Haiti has always been the worst stricken by tragedies here in the Caribbean. See? And we don't see any African countries coming out and say, look, Haiti is so unfortunate. Let us, you know what I mean, send them some aid. See? Let us send them some, you know what I mean, some health care, something that can help them out. Send them some money. Because, quote unquote, Haiti is them brother, right? We never see that yet, but when it comes to America, gather them, you know what I mean, them allies, we send, you know what I mean, peacekeepers, which we know that what peacekeepers mean. Peacekeeper mean them are going to send people for wage war. Right? When it come time for send, you know what I mean, soldiers and police to Haiti, here comes the Africans, them ready. Forgive them, you know what I mean, for play for them part. Here come the African, them ready for say, yes, let us send our people in to unalive. Because that's the only thing them good for, you know. Unalive. To unalive our people in Haiti, our brothers and sisters in Haiti. But as we say, when we needed, when Haiti needed, you know what I mean, moral support or aid, no African country stood up to say, yo, yeah, them are going to give moral support or aid to Haiti. You understand? We're going to play some tape, you know what I mean? We're going to read some articles The class here might be a long class, Zin, but we're going to break down the situation we are going in Haiti. You understand? Remember, like, share, subscribe, tap the screen, follow, depending on the platform that you're currently watching on. All right, we have a bad internet connection, so hopefully the internet now, you know what I mean? No mess this up. All right.
Bearing the Kenyan flag and with weapons in hand, long-awaited police reinforcements have arrived in Haiti, bolstering the new Prime Minister Gary Conny, who is determined to see the country freed from gang violence.
Finally, we can see that the international force is here to support us and our police force. So we're going to start working little by little to regain control of the country. But I want no one to doubt the purpose of the mission. The state will regain power and reaffirm its authority so all Haitians can live peacefully in this country.
The mission led by Kenya is the first any African nation has led outside of the continent. It was first requested to the United Nations by Haiti's former government nearly 2 years ago, but has faced multiple delays, in part due to Kenya's opposition parties calling for the country's security needs to take precedence before foreign commitments, and in part due to political turmoil in Haiti that was exacerbated nearly 4 months ago when gangs united to coordinate attacks on the capital Port-au-Prince, storming prisons and firing on the international airport. Gangs control 80% of the capital, and their widespread killing, kidnappings and violence has led to the displacement of over 500,000 people. Their leader, Jimmy Cherizier, who has constantly warned against the mission, recently suggested he is open to dialogue. But aid groups are concerned that the gangs will respond forcefully to the mission, that clear objectives have not been outlined, and that the Kenyan forces are ill-equipped.
All right, so, you know what I mean? Gang feud in Haiti boil over, turmoil, you understand? It is not a pretty thing. We not support it. We not say, we don't know nothing about that, you know what I mean, person who will lead that whole thing over there in Haiti. As far as we're concerned, America probably put them up to it. Who knows? Then it might be a legitimate, them can't take the struggle no more. Them decide, say, yo, them are going to rebel, and them eventually get control of the country. See, one thing we know for sure, that everything that Haiti has suffered from in the past, you know what I mean, poor economy, exploitation, and all them things that come from America, are caused by America. See? No, our problem, we know the oppressor. You see, oppressor, the devil, the Bible speak of, the Bible tell us, say, yo, you know what I mean, if, I'm paraphrasing, if trouble reach you, you will find him there first. I'm paraphrasing. Zane, rest assured that even us here in Jamaica, we have a past where the oppressor have a hand to play in as well. So we know that Haiti problem is stemmed from the oppressor. But the problem is, why are these Africans so quick to send, you know what I mean, unalivers to quell situations in our countries? Are in, let me just say, Haiti, see? But no moral support have ever came from them in the past. Never. I want our people look into it too, you know, because watch this. All throughout our time over here, we have always been supporting of the Africans. Always, especially Jamaica. See? And don't disconnect, you being a Jamaican, don't disconnect yourself from Haiti. See, the same problems where, you know what I mean, Haiti I go through, we face, we can relate to Haiti. It's just that Haiti, you know what I mean, they are taking matters in their own hand per se, you know what I mean, just to lack of a better way of saying it. See, don't think that what happening in Haiti can reach here. You have to remember too, Haiti is a country that suffer from natural disasters and all them things, where we never have to face like that. So, you can really say the difference between we and Haiti is just a natural disaster. To be honest, one major earthquake and Jamaica can be just like Haiti. And remember that Haiti have been struck by earthquake after earthquake, you know what I mean, and hurricanes. which we say in Jamaica, we are blessed because these things never actually come and lick us the right way. Right? Saying so, at the mercy of the Most High, why we don't end up like Haiti. But we and Haiti face the same struggle. We went through the same slavery. Then we suffer through the same colonial, you know what I mean, rulers who rule over us, oppress us. Then, and we suffer the same puppets that them put over us, who keep us down. So we and Haiti can relate to each other. But tell me now, why the Africans them, for them role, for them help that them can send to us is armed forces. Why them can't send, you know what I mean, humanitarian aid? Why have we never got moral support from the Africans them before? We should think about that, you know, because, you know what I mean, we were taught over here that we were Africans. Then shouldn't the Africans them empathize with us over here? Shouldn't the Africans then be the first ones to say, yo, look, we don't love the treatment that our brothers and sisters are getting over there. We are fighting in support of them. If it's even a gesture, if it's even not physical, but a gesture, but you have never seen it. Never, you have never seen an African country say, yo, we stand with Haiti. Why is that? If somebody in the chat can tell me, yo, trust me, would I be happy if we get the explanation from that? If some Rastafarian or Pan-African person I watch this right now, please tell me. Because the Pan-African people among us, the people who like to teach us about Africa, and the Rastafarians, they are the first ones to tell us that we should come back to our African roots and all them things there. So, please tell me, just type it in the chat. You know what I mean? Without the heckling. You can't heckle if you don't want to tell, you know. But heckle with an explanation. Please tell me why every time we go through something over here, the Africans them never give us any moral or humanitarian support. Never. But every time them go through something, we are the first to say, free Africa, free this God-forsaken African country. In the meanwhile, while you not type up on the question, I go jump to another tape. See? And this tape I go show how hypocritical these Kenyans are. Because them have their own problems over there in their own country. See? But yet still them find the time to come to Haiti to solve Haiti problem. And when I say solve problem, I don't mean bring humanitarian aid. Bring them forces to fight against our brothers and sisters in Haiti. Watch this.
Were killed on Tuesday after Kenyan police fired on demonstrators as they stormed the National Assembly building. The crowd was protesting against controversial new tax measures being pushed by President William Ruto and with many already passed by lawmakers. So for more on this, Bloomberg's Ondiro Ganga joins me from Kigali. Ondiro, just walk us through the events that led to this moment. How did we get here?
Jumana, this has been a long time coming. In 2023, 2024, the government passed the first finance bill that doubled VAT on fuel, introduced a controversial housing levy at 1.5 and increased.
Those who are watching on YouTube, let me know if you not hear the audio here. Put a 1 in the chat if you not hear the audio.
Income tax. Kenyans protested this, but the government, because they had numbers in parliament, they were able to see this bill through. Come 2024, 2025, there's a new finance bill that proposes even more taxes. And some of the controversial clauses were taxes on bread, levies on fuel, import tax.
All right. Shalom, brother. Shalom, sis. Say that again. Oh, we're not playing a match still here. It's a class we are teach, but we don't know. You're welcome for join in and put your input in the class as well. Yeah, it's a class. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. You know what I mean? The original Hebrew Israelite. So if you want to stay and listen to the class, you can. You know what I mean? You can do that. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. So we teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that they are the Israelites in the Bible. So we are keep a class now and we are talk about Haiti and how Kenya are send armed forces to Haiti. And what we need to say is, whenever we need moral support and humanitarian aid, we never get it from the Africans then. It's always we are give it to the Africans. But as soon as it come time for them send unalivers, you know what I mean, to quell some dispute where we have amongst each other, they are quick to do so. So, you know what I mean? All right, yeah, man. Just take yourself out and think. We'll continue with the class. You know what I mean? And remember, everybody, will stop up the screen, share, like we'll continue to play about the tape.
That was going to affect sanitary towels and diapers. And these rallied Kenyans amongst themselves. This got them really angry because they felt these taxes were going to mop up whatever little liquidity they had left. The government needs these taxes in order to raise revenue, balance their budget, and unlock funding from the IMF. But the people are not on the same page with the government this time around. They lobbied themselves on social media in numbers and hit the streets of Nairobi. Now, while they were out protesting, Parliament was taking a vote on this bill, and it easily sailed through the floor of Parliament because the opposition party did not take a vote. Instead, they joined the protesters in calling for this bill to be dropped altogether. And while this was happening in Parliament, some of these protesters in Nairobi, Kenya, were approaching Parliament. They breached the gate and they gave.
All right, so let me just tell you what go on right as now. So meanwhile, let me send them forces to Haiti. Zin, they are currently having a huge protest in them country because of some tax bill where them pass or the people them, you know what I mean, don't agree with. Because we know that these, you know what I mean, just like our politicians over here, you know what I mean, these Africans, their leaders are as corrupt, you know what I mean, and they also are not governing them people, you know what I mean, the right way to. For them people are suffer over there too. And if you don't mind, sharp, for them thing get out of control, and you know what I mean, at any moment, you know, Africa is known for this. You see what is going on in Haiti? Africa is known for that. Coups and them things that can happen spontaneously anytime in any African country. You understand? So Kenya have them own problem. Them have them own problem with them people them uprising against the authorities because them just as corrupt. You understand? So when me I say and this way you see go on over Kenya, you know. This is the most I is doing, you know, because look, it happened just when them reach, and this is all you know that we are the children of Israel. This is all you know that our brothers and sisters in Haiti, they are the children of Israel, and they are the most high people that you should ramp with. Just when them decide, say, yo, them are going to send them forces to Haiti, look what take place in them own country. And the most time make that happen. You understand? The most time make that happen for sure, them say them need to leave people business alone. They need to mind them own business. You understand? Because remember, like what I say, I'm going to repeat this. Whenever we need moral support, whenever we need humanitarian support, Africa and African countries have never offered that to us. The most they will give us, you know what I mean, are the best. It's not even the best thing. What they have always give us is disrespect and criticism. Pointing out our problems, them and how, you know what I mean, how unfortunate we are. Seeing and how backwards we are and how we treat each other and this and that and red. You understand? They have never said, well, our brothers and sisters over there need us. Quote unquote, because them claim so we are Africans, though, which we know that we are not enough blinking Africans. See? And the point of this class are just to show you how much we are not African. You understand? So them have them own protests to deal with right now, right at the same time when them decide, say, oh, them are going to send police, because police them call it, you know, but if you look at their police, them police just like the military. So it come like for them police is really the military. And look what happened. A protest are going in them country over, you know what I mean, over a tax bill, and them unalive 5 people. The tape continue to say that, you know what I mean, the police, their police was firing live rounds into the crowd. Then what kind of police that? That show you said their police don't know nothing but brute force and unalivement. So where them a go to Haiti for do? You think them a go to Haiti for just fight gangs? Them a go to Haiti with the same mentality of how them deal with them own people. Them a go unalive our Asian brothers and sisters innocently. That is what them a go do. And them glad for do it. You know why? Because that is always what they have done. You understand? That is what these Africans have always done. And that is what we need our people to know. We're going to read the article, then we're going to jump to some more article and just break down this whole Africa dynamic and our relationship with Africa and why you never see any African country come out and fight for our plight. So we're going to read this article. This is an Al Jazeera article. And it says, why are Kenyan forces set to intervene in Haiti and how is the US involved? Right. So America is really the mastermind behind the whole of this, our oppressor. When we say America, we mean the YT man. That is a new name for call him. The YT man who rules America. And when you hear the UN, it is the YT man who rules the UN and the European countries. See? So they are the ones behind this. Let me read this article. See? It said, Kenyan President William Ruto is in the United States for a 3-day state visit in the first such trip for an African leader since 2008. Why the first such trip since 2008? Who remember who won the election in 2008 in America? Who won the election in 2008 in America? A man named Barack Obama, see, which many of our people think is a brother like us when he's an African. His father is from Kenya. See, he's not one of us. And we know how his reign, how his presidency end up. Him give more rights to the LGBT community than black people. Him literally say, being black now go exempt you, or let me paraphrase what him say. Him now give enough special treatment to black people. You understand? He went on to say that black men are irresponsible and are not good fathers. Just like Africans always do. That is what Africans do. Them just criticize we over here. You understand? Africans, if them can't take a little of your culture and make themselves rich, like what them like to do to Jamaica, all them have to say about us is negative. Just like Barack Obama. See? And that was the last time. That is the reason why the last time a Kenyan president visited America was in 2008, because Barack Obama won the presidency in 2008. Let me continue reading. See? When Ruto meet his counterpart Joe Biden at the White House on Thursday, at the top of their agenda will be the multinational security intervention in the troubled Caribbean nation of Haiti. So that is the top of their agenda. You understand? All right, let me scroll down. I'm now going to read the whole of this article. See? 1 second. Let me read this. It says, what's the backdrop to Haiti crisis? The Caribbean nation has been wrecked by violence in recent months after gang declared war on the government of former Prime Minister Ariel Henry in February. All right, so it started because of, you know what I mean? All of this started when one of the Asian presidents were assassinated. I think that was when? That was 2 years ago, if I remember correctly. See, After that, the country went off in a chaos. See? Which would make sense if any country's president or prime minister was assassinated, especially when the country has been, battered with economical crisis, natural disasters, and all manner of evil. Of course, people now are going to decide, say, boy, probably they're going to take things in their own hand. We now say that is the case. As far as we're concerned, America might be behind all that too. Same like how America was behind, the war in the 70s and 80s here in Jamaica. You understand? The political gang war. America was behind that. And the reason why we didn't end up like Haiti is because they were successful. You understand? So any country in this condition would end up in a situation like this, right? Let me continue. It said the UN says more than 2,500 people were killed or injured across the country. All right, let me scroll down to the meat of the matter. See? 1 second. Me scroll down to the meat of the matter. 1 second. One second. All right. So this said, what is the MSS? On October 2, the UN Security Council voted in favor of motion by the US and Ecuador to deploy multinational security support mission MSS in Haiti. And Ecuador is run by, I don't know if that person is an oppressor, more likely is. But him is in full, compliance with America too, So him is one of them puppet too, See? Let me continue. It is not a UN mission, but is being referred to as a UN back in. We know it's a UN mission, but anyway, let's continue reading. It says US Secretary of State Antony Blinken called the mission pivotal. Washington has pledged $300 million in funding, while Canada has pledged $123 million to Haiti with 80.5 million allocated to the mission. Meaning, in other words, they are paying these countries to intervene. Sound familiar? They are paying Kenya. The reason why Kenya is there is because they are getting paid. Just look at it like they are hiring mercenaries to go to Haiti. Why? So them can get Haiti under control. So them can, when them get Haiti under control, now them can control the resources. You understand? Put it in turmoil, then get it under control. Then whichever government or president you set up is just a puppet. We are going to just funnel all of the resources back to, America, back to the UN, whichever nations need for benefit. And the Asian people will never, see a dime from the resources that them have in them island. That is the reason for this. So them have spend the money now to reap the benefit later. So all of these forces we are going to see come down in Haiti, right? Including, if Jamaica send forces, including Jamaica, which you know that our leaders, them are some puppets. You understand? Them are some puppets. See? So these are mercenaries where they must send to Haiti to get it under control. You understand? To exploit it later. So like when I say, it sound familiar. It sound familiar. It's the same thing them do during the transatlantic slave trade. So you might ask me, what happened during the transatlantic slave trade? Well, African nation struck a deal with the oppressor to sell, the Israelites, them are to catch the Israelites and bring them into slavery. They were paid with wine, musket guns. Those were weapons that were newly created. You understand? That was very efficient. during that time. That would be like the drones today. You see the drone warfare we are going right now, we are the Russia the upper hand in a Ukraine. Those would be like drones. People was fighting with swords and spears and, you know what I mean? Cannon was a new thing that just a come in. Gunpowder and all them things, and these musket guns where you can hold in your hand and shoot your enemy. Those were new. And the oppressor was equipping these Africans with them. You understand? And they struck deals with the oppressor to get us out of Africa. And that is why many of us came over here from the west coast of Africa. Because of the same thing where you see going in Haiti right now. You understand? The same collaboration between these Africans and the oppressor. I know you have never heard anybody probably, you know what I mean, in your life make a distinction between black people over here and Africans. But it is a part of history with the omit, which is very crucial for you understanding who you really are, because it is being right before your eyes, it's being set before your eyes clearly that the Africans them, you know what I mean, don't dip on your side, but you might wonder why. You might just boil it down to, well, you know what I mean, black people messed up. So one of the common saying that our people like to say is, well, black people always fight black people. So, you know what I mean, it's no surprise that Africans, they are now, you know what I mean, part of the effort for oppress our brothers and sisters in Haiti. But me I tell you, say it deeper than that. It's deeper than that. It's so deep that, you know what I mean, it goes far beyond slavery. You understand? As a matter of fact, I'm going to read, you know what I mean, just a little usurp out of this book, you know what I mean, from Babylon to Timbuktu. See? And let you know that, look, not everybody that lives on a particular landmass are the same people. And not because they have been living there for a number of years, neither. That is where you have to understand. Let me give you an example. Chinese live and born and grow here in Jamaica. Thousands of Chinese born and grow here in Jamaica, right? And they are also called Jamaicans. If you check them passport, they are called Jamaicans. Jamaican right on them passport. Also, you have a lot of East Indians who they here. Many I would call them coolie. Some coolie people. See? Where, you know what I mean? For many of us, we can't even picture them being not Jamaican because we become so used to them. Like we grew up seeing them here in Jamaica. We grew up seeing coolie. We grew up seeing Chinese. Many of the coolie them live in some of our communities them too. You understand? We don't really, all right, let me give you an example of one, SHALAM. Who know the artist named SHALAM? I'm just use him because he's popular and famous. Like, we don't look on SHALAM as if he is any different from us because, you know what I mean? Him talk just like us. As far as we concerned, you know what I mean? He was so deep in the culture that all badness him promote. He was seen as a bad man. See? So Jamaicans even love him. You understand? But SHALAM was not one of us. But the point to me I make is, his people have been in Jamaica for like over 100 years. So automatically them in the fabric of the society. But not because them come from the land or they've been in the land for so long, means they are from the land. You get what me I try to say? It's the same thing with us. Not because them took us from the west coast of Africa and we have been living in Africa for so long, meaning that we are Africans. But the dilemma where our people can, you know what I mean, overlook is the fact that we look like the Africans them. So they must say we look too much like them for not be them. But me I tell you, say we are not them. And if you look closer, we don't look like them neither. You understand? We are going to read from the book From Babylon to Timbuktu, page 84. And you should get this book, you know what I mean? Or get inside this school, you know what I mean? And learn a true history. You understand? We're going to read the second paragraph on page 84. And it said, in the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. So this I tell you about Jerusalem and how the Romans conquered Jerusalem. And it will give you a timestamp. 65 BC. You know what I mean? If you know anything about the time, you know what I mean, or they measure time, they measure BC and AD, all related to Christ. So BC is before Christ. Some want to say before the common era, but initially it's before Christ. See? And AD is after the death of Christ. You understand? So during this time, 65 years before the death of Christ, that is when the Romans capture Jerusalem. You understand? Let me continue reading. It said in 70 AD now, so 70 years after Jesus' death or Christ's death, see, which is about 113 years apart. See, from when them capture Jerusalem to this time, 70 AD. See, General Vespasian and his son Titus, which if you type in them name in a Google right now, them whole history will come up because these are real people. You understand? These were Roman generals. See? And we all know about the Romans. Titus, Slakia, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state. So now, them captured Jerusalem in 65 BC, and in 70 AD, them put an end to Jerusalem or the Jewish state. See? So it's a campaign of about 130 years, and then them completely destroy, you know what I mean, this place. You understand? We continue reading. See? It said, during the period of the military governance of Palestine. So now it tell you which land it talk about. So Jerusalem is where you see Palestine right now. You understand? And where you see the fake Jews, them a claim the land, and the Palestinians, them a claim the land now. The reason why them can claim the land is because in 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son put an end to the Jewish state. So the Jews, them get kicked out, the real Jews. See? So it said, during the period of the military governance of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. Who are these people? The Jews who lived in that land with them now called Palestine. See? It said, during the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa. You understand? So Jews fled into Africa during that short period of time. You understand? 1 million. See? Let me continue reading. Fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. So them that flee from the Romans, them who, you know what I mean, persecute them in them land. So them fled down in Africa. Africa was nearby. It wasn't too far. The Middle East not too far from Africa. So the best place them see for run is down in that land where be black people live, because though the Romans them are surrounded. You understand? And we know the Romans are oppressors. So this is not the Bible, brother. Who said Bible? You understand? Of course we read the Bible, but this is not the Bible we are reading right now. See? But this is just confirming the Bible. This is a history book written by a black man. You understand? Let me continue reading. See? It said, fleeing Roman persecution and slavery. So the Jews them fled down in Africa, fleeing from the Romans, them persecution and slavery, because the Romans them that try to enslave them, and they were definitely persecuting them. See? It said, the slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves. You notice how it put an emphasis on the Jews being black? Because just like the Africans, the Jews were dark skinned. Hence, now it makes sense why you see them run down in Africa. Because them that run from white people, so them go hide amongst dark skinned people. You understand? So this is how we got down into Africa. We are not the Africans. You understand? And it said over 1 million Jews during that time, that small period of time. Just imagine how much more of us fled down into Africa after that time. Tens of millions. And many of us fled into different parts of Europe where we dominated too. Like England and Scotland before it get took over by what name? George, that German bastard who eventually became the predecessor of Queen Elizabeth and them. You understand? Many of us fled into Europe. Many of us were subjects in Spain, which the Spaniards them never too like us at one point and kick we out. You understand? When there were war with the Moors, expel us and kick we out and throw we down in Africa too. So many of us came from Europe to Africa. See, many of us came from Jerusalem to Africa. And what did we meet in Africa? We never meet friends or we go down there in Africa. We met enemies. We met people who we'd have to fight against and conquer. Because now we have see some black people, some dark-skinned people who look like we, but they are not us, so them not like we. Plus, we in them land. You understand? We in them land, so them no want we in them land. But we are flee from persecution from a greater enemy. So when we flee down in Africa now, we have to fight our next enemy. But this enemy wasn't so strong. So many of us, it wasn't smooth sailing either. But many of us was successful in, you know what I mean, our war against them. We settled on the west coast of Africa. See, in the land where them call Ghana, not Kenya, not Ethiopia. See, but the west coast of Africa where them say the transatlantic slave trade began. That is where we settled. Not the entire Africa. We came from the north and we went down to the west, to the northwest. Then and we settled there and we was able to hold our own until the transatlantic slavery. We are not the Africans, not by a long shot. So if you ever wonder why the Africans, them have never stand up for any plight that you see we face over here, ever, it is because them know they were not enslaved, so them know them history. Them know say, yo, them heard it from them grandparents that them people over there we are sing reggae music about Africa this. They are not Africans. They are invaders. And yes, we were invaders, but we never invade to oppress. We were fleeing from persecution. But they were not having it. So eventually, them join up with the oppressor who was persecuting us from before. The same race of people, it was a, way they call it, a religious war, so to speak. Well, at least the ones in Europe. See? But they were the descendants, the British and the Spanish were the descendants of the people who destroyed Jerusalem, who we were fleeing from, talking about the Romans. You understand? They are the same descendants of those people. But like what I try to show you, we over here are not Africans. And this is why Kenya I send them ugly bastard here. Look on them. Them ugly same thing here. Down at Haiti. If we go further oppress our brothers and sisters in Haiti. Instead of sending humanitarian support or moral support. We have never gotten that from any African. Now is the time we should start question, you know what I mean, them thing here and say, but if you have African friends, because watch I know. Zin, watch I know. Because of the Rastafari community and the Pan-African community, Zin, many of us sympathize with Africa and identify ourselves with Africa. But now at the time where we should now ask questions, why Africa has never stand up for our plight, ever. And seeing that them claim we are Africans, wouldn't it be now the time for Africa speak out on behalf of the atrocity that took place in slavery? Why isn't Africa the champion of that cause right now? Just think about it. Remember, you know, the history that them try to teach we is that Africa was robbed of its people. And the Africans them was, you know what I mean? What you call, what the word me I look for? Was select here, the word slip me. Let me use back the word robbed then. The Africans them today was robbed of them own people. Then shouldn't the Africans them now shouldn't the Africans them be the one protesting against the oppressor for say, even the reparation thing? Give them reparation because, you know what I mean? They are our people and you did them an injustice. You enslaved them for 400 years, putting them through all manner of atrocities. We all know the stories. We all know the trauma that our people went through that is unmatched by any other trauma that took place on this earth. Nobody went through what we went through. Shouldn't the Africans them now say, look here man, now at the time, a modern time now, 2024, pay them reparation even though we know reparation now go fix our problem. But shouldn't the Africans them be the one we are saying now, pay them reparation? A fight for that, a champion that cause they know. But you don't hear a peep out of the Africans them, not one sound. Them don't care. All right. I do a class week before last week where Muta Baruka added some African spiritual man on him show. And the show did go good, you know. And this is where the distinction between Muta Baruka and that African guru was made that day. Zin, the show go good. He might tell Muta Baruka all him quote unquote magical skills where he used to heal and learn of things. But when Muta Baruka asks him, well, if you have so much power, or you allow the oppressor to come in Africa and take so much African, how you lose the war there? And the African, he was, what do I call it? What the word I look for? He was unattached. Meaning, him say, let me tell you what him say. Him say it is a good thing that slavery happened. And Muta Baruka a cheap plug out when he hear him say that. Remember, I know the show did go on good. Muta Baruka did love everything when I say, but when him said that, it proves that they have no empathy or no sympathy for what we got through. And Muta Baruka, because him stuck in an ignorance, him don't see why. He made plug out because his fiend people go through that, through slavery. So when him hear a man a don't play our slavery and I say, yo, it's a good thing that now go sit right with any Israelite we have sense. Because we go through that. But through Muta Baruka don't understand that they are not our people. Him disappointed, but we not disappointed. We know that would have been them response. That has always been the Africans' response to our plight. Because them have a hand to play in our initial plight, which is slavery. You understand? They have always been complicit. It is easy for the slaves them think them are African. But the African them who were never slaves know that they are not you. So you can dance and sing songs and skip and big up Africa all you want. There is a secret that you don't know. You are not them. You understand? And that is the secret where them hold dear to them heart. Them and the oppressor. All of them complicit. But you trap on a little island, deprive of your culture and your history. You understand? Where you are going to learn the truth? When systems are put in place to hide the truth from you. Where you are going to learn it? You are going to learn it from the I.S.U.P.K and the Commanding General YAHANNA. Because if it wasn't for the I.S.U.P.K, you would never hear nothing like this when me talk right now. If Commanding General if Commanding General YAHANNA never, you know what I mean, kept this truth alive, you would never hear this. You would have never heard this point of view upon history. And I know it's shocking. I know it sounds away. I know it sounds stupid. How can we not be Africans? You mean, oh, you cannot be this sitting here right or so? That? Look good now? That you ask yourself? They are nothing like us. Somebody said, Chris Biggs said, they are not like, nothing at all like us. I always make this point, you know. Africa have over 1 billion people. See? And them claim we learn our culture from Africa. Then why nobody cares about Africa? Why them care about little Jamaica? Why the world love little Jamaica? Why Africa so fascinated with Jamaica? No one should have, you know what I mean, hundreds of times the accomplishment of little Jamaica. We should have been a do what we are do long time, because we go in a slavery. It's like we go in a race, and you know what I mean, we were chained down and have to pull the chain before we can start the race. And we run off for long, and we still pass on the order. We always make that, you know what I mean, comparison, but one day with people them are going to see, say, oh, a true, the comparison is, you know what I mean, is a true comparison. We are nothing like them. You understand? 1 second. Remember again, like, share. If you have questions, just leave it in the chat as well. See? It's lucky about that. All right. So we are nothing like them. See? All right. So right here in this article, you see where America is really behind it. Just like in time past, the oppressor and these Africans come together to, you know what I mean, oppress our people. That is the reason why Kenyan troops, our police, which look just like soldiers, armed to the teeth, are now in Haiti. When we never get a humanitarian assistance from any African country. And rest assured, Africa is doing better than us. These African countries, they are prospering. You understand? And we never get any humanitarian or moral support from them, ever. Never. You understand? All right. We're going to jump to another article. And this article is just further proof that these Africans don't identify with us. You understand? In North America, our brothers can tell you, our you know what I mean, North American brothers, see, black people in America can tell you that Africans don't come around them. They even like them start down to them call them akatas. Akatas means slaves. That is what Africans call them. Africans don't like them. You understand? And I'm going to say, I'm going to paint the broad brush. Them not like none of it. They might come to Jamaica and say, boy, them want, you know what I mean, them love the culture and them love the food. But we have to realize with these Edens, you know, If them can't get nothing from you, them not, you know what I mean? Them not like you, them not see no value in you. See? So Haiti ask them to join the African Union because Haiti need help. Because Haiti go through all kind of, what they call it now, tragedies that cause them to basically, them country basically now, you know what I mean, progress. See? And them asked to join the African Union and they were rejected by the African Union. See, let me read this article. It said, Haiti will not be admitted as African Union member state at next summit in Kigali, Rwanda. This was a 2016 article. This is from 2016. And it said, Addis Ababa. Why Addis Ababa? That is where, you know what I mean, the African Union is. Or that is their, what I call it now, the primary location. See? That is the central focal point. See? And how that came about, we're going to read it too. See? Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, 17 May 2016. The African Union Commission informed the public that Haiti will not be admitted as a member state of the African Union at its next summit to be held in Kigali, Rwanda, as erroneously reported by several media outlets. You understand? Erroneously, you know what I mean? Reported. It's like, yeah. Erroneously reported by several media outlets. You understand? They reject Haiti. These African countries rejected Haiti. But they did not turn down the offer to be paid to come and send them armed forces as mercy. That is what they mean, mercenaries in Haiti. Maybe Haiti, well, we know that the Most High, you know what I mean, determines what his people, how his people prosper still in. So, you know what I mean? But let me say this. It never occurred to them that if they'd have probably put Haiti into the African Union, maybe Haiti wouldn't be in a position where it's in right now. Them don't see that side of it, that if them never reject Haiti, it probably wouldn't be where it is right now. But now you send, you know what I mean, troops to fix the problem when Haiti asks, you know, to prevent it to begin with, so to speak. That is because them don't identify with us. They will quickly send militias and mercenaries to analyze us. Like that is sport. You see? That is sport to them. Why not? Why not analyze the slaves them what we used to analyze back then? That is what them probably are saying. But to give humanitarian support or to accept our, you know what I mean, submission for enter on a union, on can't have it because guess what? We don't identify with we over here. But our leaders, them, our religious gurus and them people, they want we to identify with them. And them reject we. You understand? Well, we here in Jamaica, we don't identify. We here in the I.S.U.P.K, Jamaica and the Commanding General, YAHANNA, we don't identify with Africans, but we identify with Haiti. You understand? The Haitian brothers and sisters are our family. We have the same plight. We went through the same oppression. We have everything in common. You know who we don't have nothing in common with? Except for your skin tone? The Africans. Nothing at all in common. Nothing whatsoever. You can't find one thing. Nothing at all. Just look good and you will see. Don't make them pull no wool over on the eyeball. You know what I mean? we are African, and I make that witchcraft the blind your eye. Just look at them. We do have nothing at all in common with them, but we have so much thing in common with our Asian brothers. We pray for Haiti. Now is the time for pray for Haiti. You understand? But we now pray for an African country. We pray for God people. We pray for the 12 lost tribes of Israel, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, not no Africans. Because not one, because the most I say, you know what I mean, we must gather together, nation not desired, and two, them Africans them now pray for we. You understand? And it is important when we bring out them things to you know, it's very important because we in our sleep, a dream. You understand? And this dream has never come to fruition yet. That we are African and one day we are going to join hand in hand with the Africans them. You understand? See him like Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King say him have a dream. Say little black boys and little white girls are going to join hand in hand. And what go on over America now? Racism same way. I mean, them elect a president named Donald Trump that alone should have tell us, say, you know what I mean? Racism is still the backbone of America. Like a racist people voting Donald Trump. So Martin Luther King dream, it failed. Well, guess what? Muta Baruka dream I go fail too. You understand? The Rastafari community dream I go fail too. Because these Africans have no interest in joining us. And we shouldn't want to join with them anyway. Because they are not our people. See, we're going to jump to another article. See? And this article is going to make you know that I.S.U.P.K, Selassie, the same African Union that rejected our Asian brothers, was spearheaded by I.S.U.P.K Selassie. You understand? This is BBC.com, and it said, a statue of Ethiopian last emperor has been unveiled outside the African Union headquarters in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. See the statue there. Those who over on YouTube can see it, but over here on TikTok, you never can see it. See? This is the statue of I.S.U.P.K Selassie. I.S.U.P.K Selassie is the symbol of the African Union. You understand? And it is located, the headquarters is located in Ethiopia. See? The same Ethiopia where we are told to love by the Rastafari community. The same Ethiopia that so many songs were sing about. That we should go back to Ethiopia. We know how that turned out, right? Even the same Rastafari community that says, you know what I mean, we should go back to Ethiopia. They went to Ethiopia and it never turned out so well. You understand? Let me continue reading. It said, the likeness of I.S.U.P.K Selassie is being given pride of place outside the 200 million or 154 million euro building in recognition for his role in establishing its predecessor, the Organization of African Union. You understand? Let me read that again. The likeness of I.S.U.P.K Selassie is being given pride of place outside the $200 million or $154 million building in recognition for his role in establishing its predecessor, the Organization of African Union, OAU. You understand? But but that might not be the first thing that spring to mind and hearing the name of I.S.U.P.K Selassie. So many people, you know what I mean, and I see another first thing that come to mind when them hear about I.S.U.P.K Selassie. When you hear about I.S.U.P.K Selassie, you think about the Rastafari movement. But guess what? I.S.U.P.K Selassie, him name big in Africa. Him name big. And the culture of I.S.U.P.K Selassie run through the African Union. Because same like how Haile Selassie did not identify with us, it's the same way the African Union don't identify with Haiti. You understand? Haile Selassie was offered help from, you know what I mean, pro-African Marcus Garvey people in the United States to even come and fight. And instead of turning to them for help, him turned to who? Who him turned to? Does anybody know? Who did Haile Selassie turn to? Instead of turning to quote-unquote black people. For time's sake, I'm going to tell you now, him turned to a slave master instead. So instead of, and the article where we did have, where them take down that article right now, see if we can find back one. See, it said he spurned at Marcus Garvey, meaning him rejected Marcus Garvey. Almost spurned mean like a discuss kind of rejection. He spurned at Marcus Garvey and the black people them who was giving him support when his country was being invaded. And him spurned. And it said Marcus Garvey realized that he did not identify with black people. And Marcus Garvey realized that he was a fake. You understand? Let me continue reading still. It said, the name is perhaps most easily connected with Jamaica singer Bob Marley and the Rastafarians. You understand? Yeah, that is what you think about when you hear about Haile Selassie, Bob Marley and Rastafarians. Not the head of the African Union. Yeah, Ethiopia is the head of the basically the head of the African Union. And Ethiopia is doing good right now. Ethiopia is doing well. Economy is doing well, way better than Jamaica. These African countries, they are coming up. You understand? They are coming up, and they are one thing them have what we don't have. Them have sovereignty. What I mean by that? They are in control of their affairs. You might say, well, the oppressor is in their country, and the Chinese, well, at least them have self-governance. Our leaders is who them give to us. These Africans have, you know what I mean, all authority for put a leader with them want in office and rule over them. So if them have a puppet leader for them fault, we never have a choice. We have come straight from slavery under this oppressor, and we take everything where this oppressor gives to us. So these Africans, they are not in the condition that we are in. We have no choice. Them have choice, but them leaders, them corrupt. You understand? We are a destroyed people. We don't have no culture. You know what I mean? When we say we don't have no culture, we created culture over here, and many of the culture that we create is a destruction to us, because many of it come from the oppressor still. Like, you know what I mean? The evil that we do to each other. See? But we don't have our true culture. We are a destroyed people. You understand? But the Africans, them have them culture, them intact, them have them history, everything. You understand? They are doing good, and Ethiopia is doing good. But them don't identify with you, so it makes no sense. You try, you know what I mean, push up yourself. You know that already. Pushing up yourself on people who don't like you, you know that have a turn out already. You understand? We need to stop follow these leaders who we have over us that tell us that we should run in on people. Instead, we should do what the Most I said. I'm going to find that scripture right now. Zephaniah 2:12. Slakia, let me see if that's the one. 2:1. Slakia. Zephaniah 2:1. Let me tell you what the Most I say we for do. See? This is what the Most I say we for do. This is Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1, and it said, gather yourselves together. How long now we are trying to gather together with these other nations? We are trying to gather together with the oppressor through what his name? Martin Luther King, R.G. Mike. See, that no work out. We are trying to gather together with the Arabs through them religion. Many of us are Muslims. Some of our brothers and sisters in Trinidad know about that. We being Muslim, which is the Arab man religion, which the Arabs don't like us. So what benefit we get out of joining their religion, worshiping their God? We trying to join the Africans them is another, you know what I mean? We trying to join the other nation. But the Bible tell we say, look, gather yourselves together. Don't try to gather with somebody else. Gather together. Yeah, the same people them over here with them say, yo, bleach out face and, you know what I mean, and living at the garrison and, you know what I mean, and who did say, I hear somebody say, boy, ghetto people are the most corrupt people on the field. Yeah, them same people, them say corrupt. Gather together. Don't try join the Africans. Don't try join the oppressor. Don't try join, you know what I mean, the Arabs. We could gather together. See? It said, yeah, gather together. O nation not desired. Who are the nation not desired? Well, clearly Haiti is not desired by the Africans there. Clearly, we here in Jamaica and in North America were not desired by Haile Selassie. As me said, the black Americans them can tell you that the Africans them will come to America don't like them. You understand? I did a video one time with a girl, I don't remember the African country. See, but her mother is from that country, but her father is a Jamaican. So she's an Israelite because her father is an Israelite. But when she go around her mother people, them call her African. Her mother is an African. Her mother people, them call her monkey. Let me see if I can pull up that. 1 second. Let me find that video. Give me a second. In the meanwhile, remember, tap up the screen, share, like, subscribe. You know what I mean? If you have questions, just leave it in the chat. Let me see if we have no question in the chat right now. Yeah, man, Chris Biggs, you're right. You're nothing like us. You're nothing like us. You're right. All right, 1 second. Let me see if I can pull up this video. So lucky, I might take a little time pulling up this video, but I feel like I need to hear this. You know what I mean? 1 second. So lucky. I really need to hear this video. Many of you might not see it. You see me? One second. All right, see video. One second.
Can anyone tell me why Somalis have a big problem with Jamaicans? Because I'm still confused.
All right, so she come from her mother is Somali. See? So the Somali them I give her a lot of hate. You understand?
Like, I'm getting too much hate, especially on Instagram on my requests. I can't even be asked to open them anymore. I'm getting told I look like an...
So she has said, why Somali don't like Jamaicans? But she not understand, you know. She just a young girl. She don't know her history. She don't know. You understand? Enough of our people will go through them things too, you know, where we don't understand why we get so much hate from them other nations. Like what we do, you know? See? But we play it back again.
Big problem with Jamaicans because I'm still confused. Like,
Bet you could not imagine who these group of people are.
anyone tell me why Somalis have a big problem with Jamaicans because I'm still confused. Like, I'm getting too much hate, especially on Instagram on my requests. I can't even be asked to open them anymore. I'm getting told I look like an ape. I'm getting told you're not Somali because of your big nose. You're not Somali because of your small chin. Babe, aren't you supposed to be Muslim? Like, I'm not a good Muslim. I mean, I pray, but other than that, like, come on now. Allah created me.
So they might call her ape. She look like a monkey. You understand? Because of her big nose and all them things there. These are Africans that talk about her that way, you know. You understand? Africans are do this, you know. See? And them little sneaky thing there where we know the Chinese do it and we know the Japanese them do it, we know the Arabs them do it, see? Them little cheeky, disrespect, secret hate where them have for it. We know about all of that, you know. You know what I mean? We here in Jamaica, we know about a little bit of the Chinese. We don't say Chinese them racist, you know. And look out for them one another, but them not really too like we, you know. We know that. See? But we know say we and the Chinese are not the same people. We know that. See? And them stick to themselves and them don't share with us and them thing there, right? But how you explain we are get the same treatment from Africans? Like it no make sense. Like Africans, aren't we supposed to be Africans? Like what this girl said, aren't we all Muslims? Because the Somalis, them are Muslim. See? But a two predicament she find herself in a. She born in a family where aligned with Somali. And the Somali, them are Muslim. That's a two problem because we not supposed to be Muslim neither. So she get hate from two front. So how you explain the hate what we get from Africans? Why everybody hate we? And then some Uncle Tom I go say no, well, black people hate black people too, so rare. It's not the same. It's not the same. Everybody in them own race have conflict with each other. Be sure white people have conflict with white people. Chinese have conflict with white Chinese people. So it's not the same. That is a given. You have to conflict with your own people. The most I say we love our brothers and sisters as we self. So we fix that. But that is natural for you to have a conflict with your own people. But why is it we love everybody and everybody hate we? Why go on? And especially the Africans, them, all the Africans, them for hate we and them say we are Africans. That is something what we need to talk about. Because maybe somebody, you know what I mean, never tell us the full truth. And that we are bring out now, we are tell us, yo, we are not Africans. And that is the reason why the same hate we get from the oppressor is the same hate we get from the Africans there. You understand? All right. And that, as I said, that girl was, she have a Somali mother and a Jamaican father. And her mother side of family hate her. Her mother side of people hate her, isn't it? All right, we'll read some more articles. So this article I make you know say, well, Ethiopia is basically the central focal point of the African Union. See? This I go make you know now say Haile Selassie internationalist view led to Ethiopia becoming a charter member of the United Union, the United Nations, Slovakia. In 1963, he presided over the formation of the Organization of African Unity and Slovakia, the precursor of the African Union. So Haile Selassie is to be, where I call it now, is the one who is essential to the formation of the African Union. You understand? So that African Union is a Haile Selassie creation. But we'll talk a little bit about Haile Selassie, because we're upon the subject of Africa. You understand? And what we have to do, we have to wake up out of this dream where we're in. See? We'll talk a little bit about Haile Selassie. This is a Haile Selassie website, meaning this website is a pro-Haile Selassie website. So this website is not trying to defame Haile Selassie in any way, just a tell a story. It's named the HaileSelassie.com. You understand? And it said the Italian campaign started from Eritrea. Eritrea is right above Ethiopia. You understand? Let me zoom in. And the Italian campaign we talk about is Mussolini, when Mussolini invaded Ethiopia. See? Let me read. The Italian campaign started from Eritrea. On the first day of the invasion, the Italian symbolically bombed Edward. By October 15, they had taken I.S.U.P.K, and 3 weeks later, Mekelle. Over the next few months, using aerial attack and mustard gas, the Italians slowly marched southwards through Tigray, defeating one Ethiopian army after another. By April, the Italians had defeated the last major Ethiopian army in Mecha. They took Addis Ababa and made the fifth Pankhurst 226 to 235. All right. Haile Selassie left Addis Ababa and made the second. So right before them take Addis Ababa, Haile Selassie left Addis Ababa, right? And he had his way, and he made his way to England. Patrick Gray said Africans are a different race from us. Yes. We were told that we are African by the same people that colonize us. That is the point that we are trying to make, and we have always been telling our people. You understand? Who told you that you were African? It wasn't Muta Baruka. It was the schools that you went to, your primary school. And where your primary school get the curriculum from, the oppressor. They told us that we were Africans when they were not calling us Africans during slavery. They told us that you were Africans, and somehow our leaders get us to embody this African thing. But reject the Bible. Look at the hypocrisy. This is the hypocrisy. See? Our black leaders tell us to reject the Bible because it quote unquote is a white man book, which we know it's not. But them embrace being African when it's the white man tell us you're African. Make that make sense. So you claim say a white man gave the Bible, so you reject the Bible, but you accept the identity where the white man gave you. So you decide say you're not going to accept the identity where the Bible gave, which the Bible say you are God chosen people, the Hebrew Israelites. That is what the Bible said. The Bible, you know what I mean? The Bible talk about the slavery where you go through. The Bible pinpoint everything, your characteristics, everything. It give you back all your history where, you know what I mean, lost to you right now. Your history gone. It give it back. It tell you who your enemies are. It tell you who the oppressor is. You're going to reject this and take the identity where the oppressor give you, calling yourself African. Well, see the Africans, them are get ready for invade one of your brothers and sisters' country there. Same people them where them the oppressor say you is, is the same people the oppressor appear to come, you know what I mean, unalive your people in Haiti. You understand? So, you know what I mean, good statement, Patrick. We are not Africans. Let me continue reading this though. It said, Haile Selassie left Addis Ababa on May the 2nd, and he made his way to England, where he was given asylum. So Haile Selassie fled. This is the man that some of our black leaders want we to revere. Him run, go to O. We oppressor England. So, how we are going to call this man God? How we are going to worship this man and look upon this man as an example when him are facing problems, him flee to a slave master. Imagine you try to escape slavery and you look for your hero. And the hero where you see, go to your slave master for help. Him in cahoots with your slave master, him can't be a hero. Him can't be an example to follow. Him is if anything, he would be a sellout. But him is not a sellout. You know why he is not a sellout? Because he's not one of us to begin with. So he can't sell out who he's not a part of. Haile Selassie is not us. We are not Ethiopian. So him do the natural thing. Him go join with our enemies because he himself was an enemy to us. You understand? But we over here, what we did was we was rooting him on back in that time. Back in that time, we were rooting him on because we see him as a black man like us because we think Africa is home. Like what the oppressor tell we. The oppressor tell we say we are African. So when we see an African being oppressed by the oppressor, we say, yes, we root him on, but then this African fled to another oppressor for help. But we never make that register in our mind, say, well, him still join the oppressor. OGM Colin City say, when I wear my Star of David, people get offended. Where are you from, brother? Jamaica? Zane? So him choose the oppressor and choose the people them who, because back in that time, you know, we were fresh just out of slavery in the early 1900s. See? All right, so here what you do now, you see when them tell you, say, when them, you know what I mean, get offended, make them know, say, yo, look, this is the seal, or the way you call it now. This is the symbol representing the throne that rule over our nation. This is David symbol, which represents, you know what I mean, Christ is going to rule, you know what I mean, under this symbol as well. See, this is David name in Hebrew. So if they want to get offended, for them business that. You understand? Yeah, man. So him choose with oppressor. You understand? So I remember that was in the time when we just fresh out of slavery. We just come out of slavery in them time there. The early 1900s, we are looking for your identity right now. See? And Marcus Garvey movement was dwindling down at that time. You understand? Marcus Garvey movement did not get the fight when did I get them time from the oppressor. See? Him get deported to Jamaica and then leave Jamaica. So leave Jamaica now. The Garveyites them in a Jamaica. Like Leonard Howell, which was one of the Garveyites them, and many other Garveyites. Because them don't have Marcus Garvey at them foot. Them a pay attention to the news where come out of Ethiopia. And when them hear say Haile Selassie get crowned, them I say, surely this man here have some importance. Because them never know, say, Africa have a bag of king. Them think this man are the only king in Africa. It's just a matter of the time and people never privy to information. So we over here never know nothing about Africa. We only are hear about Africa. In that time, here we are hear about Africa. We just come out of slavery and the oppressor make we know say we are African. So we are try attach ourselves to where oppressor say our homeland. So we hear say one king I get coronated over Africa. This Africa thing did I get big in them time because black people just come out of slavery. We are look for your identity. We are look for where we come from. We are look all over. When we hear Africa, we say, Africa, yes, that's where we come from. Yeah, send me back to Africa. We want to go back to Africa. See? We hear say a king get coronated in Africa. We don't know, it's almost like our people was not aware that Africa full of kings. Africa is full of kings. There's kings all over Africa during that time. All manner of kings and emperors and this and that. So them misrepresent what Marcus Garvey did say is a prophecy of Haile Selassie. It's easy to explain, you know. It's easy to explain when you understand what was happening in that time. It was just our people hungry for a sense of identity and knowledge. But just imagine that time. You never have smartphone. See? You never have computer. You never have internet. So nobody could Google the map of Africa and see and the different places in Africa and Google about the places them for no say what heap of other king there Africa. So this one where I get coronated in no special. You understand? It was just we getting trickles of information through news and newspaper and radio. And we fantasy and imagination about this land where them tell we name Africa, where them so-called take from. We are just fascinated. See him like, oh, you know what I mean, Christian daydream about heaven. I see him where our people that daydream about Africa. We think Africa was a place, a Ethiopia. But in the, Africa was, you know what I mean, the one of the worst places on earth at that time. And even today. But our people never know that all we had was gurus and leaders who are tell we for, Marcus Garvey was one of them too, who tell we for love Africa. So because the Garveyites them now were so embroiled in the whole African thing, when them hear say this man I get coronated, them turn him out to be one God and tie prophecy to him. When all he was just a tyrant who did I get what's coming to him. And them never did know how him get that throne neither. Through where I call it now. He wasn't the most honest man. Let me just put it that way. But our people that look somebody for identify with, and here became the Rastafari movement. But eventually this man got invaded and him run got England. Who's England? We slave master. I bet there was news that he fled to England back then. But nobody wanted to talk about it. Nobody wanted to pay attention to the fact that, oh, the man who we just turned into a god, him gonna beg help from the queen, you know. I bet them that ignore it them time. And I say, we now pay attention to that part. Because that's a crucial turn of event. Like, he's no longer a God. Or he's no longer an example. If him flee for help, not only to England, you know, but the fact that England is our oppressor. like that we should have registered that as being betrayal to us. We should have said, yo, that is traitorous. Or him for do that. But nobody speak about that. Eventually, England saved him. Not because England wanted to save him. Let me really come more of this. See, it said he traveled to Geneva on June the 30th to address the League, which is the League of Nations, which is now the UN. See? However, the League decided on June the 4th to end the sanction against Italy. Italy was his invaders, you know. Invaders, you know. Slovakia is invaders. And the League of Nations decides, say, oh, they're going to lift sanction from Italy. Meaning they disregard him completely. They had sanctions on Italy and them lift it. Which means all him begging and pleading, they did not recognize it. See? Italy merged Ethiopia with Eritrea and Somalia to create Italy East Africa. So Ethiopia was taken from Haile Selassie. You understand? This move was recognized by most nations of the world. Most nations of the world, and England too. All of them of the League of Nations recognized the new thing where Mussolini created when he joined Ethiopia with Eritrea and what? Wait it say? And Somalia. Same Somalia where the girl I say, yo, no like black, no like Jamaicans. Same Somalia. Where the right side of Kenya too. Right side of Kenya. Let me find a map of Africa. See there? Somalia, Kenya, Ethiopia. Kenya, what that is getting ready, these ugly bastards, that is getting ready now for unalive brothers and sisters in Haiti. Them the right side of them one another. Somalia, Ethiopia, that is the east side of Africa. None of our people no come from this. And our people are no longer in West Africa. We are not no Africans. See there, the three of them bungalow. You understand? Well, guess what? Mussolini decided that they were going to join Eritrea, Ethiopia, and Somalia. Because he kick out Haile Selassie run, and now him control the whole place. And meanwhile, him control the whole place, Haile Selassie beg help from England and the League of Nations. And they weren't even looking at him. As a matter of fact, they start acknowledge the new state where Mussolini created. It's almost like, just picture this, Russia running in Ukraine and Zelensky runway, and Russia now call Ukraine Russia, and America say, yes, it's no Russia, and EU say, yeah, it's no Russia. That is similar to what take place right here. But him beg and him beg and him beg and him beg, and it never help him none at all. But you know when them decide to help him? When Italy joined Germany. Germany and Hitler. You see what I go on now? So Italy decide them to join Hitler in a World War II. So now them say, no, we can't have it. We can't have that. And then now them start fight against Italy. But not because them love Haile Selassie. You understand? Not because them love Haile Selassie. Now them can use Haile Selassie to destroy Italy or destroy them enemy. Them new enemy which was once them friend. So them give Haile Selassie troops and Haile Selassie, you know, the English army basically marching in Ethiopia and defeated Mussolini. That is how Selassie get back in throne. You understand? This is not no man where you have to revere and call no God or have him as anybody. You know what I mean? Haile Selassie was just another US puppet, poodle dog. You know what I mean? Haile Selassie and the United States of America. All right, hold on. I think we did mark somewhere already. I mean, want to read. All right. I'll just read through a little bit of this. It said, Haile Selassie and the United States of America. It said, by the end of the Ethiopian and the Italian War in 1935 to 1941, the Ethiopian economy was entirely exhausted and its natural resources plundered. Adding to the existing agony was the so-called protected state imposed on Ethiopia by Winston Churchill. When it became apparent that the relationship between Ethiopia and Britain was leading to a deeper financial crisis, the Emperor Haile Selassie sought economical assistance from the new emerging global power, the USA. You understand? So Haile Selassie could start left from kissing Britain's rear end to start kissing America's rear end. It said, Ethiopia, King Haile Selassie visit to USA and America and Ethiopia development operations, published by the United States Information. All right. The United States first provided economical and technical assistance to Ethiopia in 1944. However, it was the signing of the September 1951 treaty, the signing, Slakia, of the 1951 Treaty of Amity and Economic Relation that really strengthened the ties between them. The United States and Ethiopia became close allied right up to 1974, especially after the election of President John F. Kennedy. Why it said right up to 1974? 1974 is when Haile Selassie died. So right through the life of Haile Selassie, he was good friends with the United States. You understand? That is your African, you know what I mean? Africans where you love. They are allies with our enemies. That's all they are. See? That's all they are. And the Ethiopians and these Kenyans and the Somalis, they are the same people. You understand? They are the same people. They are the same tribes of African. Although Ethiopia divided in many different tribes, but you'll find, say, you have a lot of them same people are from Kenya in Ethiopia. Somali, Kenya, Ethiopia. That is the east side of Africa. Same people there. And Ethiopia is infamous for one particular thing. And we're going to find that. Let me find it quick and fast. 1 second. 1 second. I hope I don't close it. One second. We'll close it, you know, I'm going to find it back. God is crucial, you know. It's very crucial. Ethiopia is famous for a certain activity that joining us to the Ethiopian would be, you know what I mean, a spitting at the face of our ancestors. You know what I mean? 1 second. Oh, I hit this? No, no, it. One second. Oh, the same article me that read a while ago, you know. Okay. All right. So, this is what Marcus Garvey had a problem with Haile Selassie about. This is the BBC.com. See, it said Marcus Garvey was unimpressed after he fled Ethiopia in 1936. The same story that we read a while ago about him fleeing from Ethiopia, talking about Haile Selassie. Marcus Garvey never loved the fact that him fled. Marcus Garvey see that as a coward move. See? Following the invasion of Benito Mussolini's troops a year earlier, describing Haile Selassie as a coward, that is Marcus Garvey, you know, described Haile Selassie as coward. You understand? And calling him out for the terrors of slavery. I'll repeat it again. Listen. Describing Haile Selassie as a coward and calling him out for the terrors of slavery. The practice was not outlawed in Ethiopia until 1942. You understand? So Ethiopia was one of these people where me I go read about now. You understand? I want to listen. See? I'll get to it. So Ethiopia had a slave culture, right? They had a slave culture. As a matter of fact, we're going to play the tape. Let me play this tape. See? These are African nations apologizing for their role in the transatlantic slave trade. Africans who, like I said earlier, they took the musket gun and the wine and other, you know what I mean, things from our oppressor to catch us and sell us into slavery. You understand? Now play this.
We are very privileged to be with you, particularly our brothers and sisters from the Caribbean, the diaspora, and the people from all over Africa, our brothers and sisters from all over Africa. I wish at this point to particularly to apologize deeply on behalf of the chiefs and people of Gold Coast and Ghana for the atrocities, the cruelty, the inhuman treatment that were committed 400 years ago by my ancestors during the Atlantic slave trade.
All right, so this is some African leaders that come together to apologize for their ancestors' role in the transatlantic slave trade. See why? Because Africans, they are slave traders. Ethiopia, up until the time of Haile Selassie, did not stop this slave trading. We don't get an apology from Ethiopia, though. But Ghana and others, some others apologize. See? Apology not accepted still, you know. Apology not accepted. But the point that we are trying to make you know is the Africans, them, had a role to play in your slavery. That is what me I try to show you. And Ethiopia, up until the time of Haile Selassie, had not ended them slave catching and slave trading habits. It was Marcus Garvey who had to call him out on it, and that is the reason why him end the slave trade, because now he would be exposed as being who he really are. He really is a slave trader. You understand? Now me answer this person question. This person said, was he supposed to have fought with swords versus bomb, guns, tear gas? Hey, let me tell you something. By all means, you know, the fact is, we no business about Selassie running. As far as we're concerned, you know what I mean? We not think much of Haile Selassie. You know? I actually expected him to run. That is not the problem. What we are saying is a man that run. How the hell if you call him God? A man that run to your slave master for help. How the hell you going to revere him as somebody that, you know what I mean, you should know, follow? A man that fled to your slave master. If you'd have listened to the class earlier, you'd have seen where me I say we were fresh out of slavery. And this man fled to his slave master. Oh, you now turn him into a god. By all means, him could fight Mussolini. But him can't be with God neither. You get what me I say? I hope it makes sense to you, you know, because I know sometimes when people so engulfed in the whole Rasta thing that it hard to sit, you know what I mean, make points clear, you know what I mean? What we are saying is this man don't deserve to be revered because he fled to a slave master. And not only that, Ethiopians are not our people. And this is what the most I say about us choosing a king over us. See? Let me find that scripture. Because we have a culture, you know. It's just that we just find it. Find it back. You understand? Let me find it, the scripture. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 17 and verse 15. And it said, thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. The Most High give us instruction on how to govern our nation. Who the Most High choose, that's who we should set king over us. One from among thy brethren shall thou set king over thee. Right? Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. Haile Selassie is not our brother. Haile Selassie was the man, or Haile Selassie came from the people who was catching our brothers and sisters and selling them to the white man. That's the point we are making. You understand? So, that me I say, me now say him should have stand up and dead. That's in business. What we are saying, we know we worship him. You understand? All right, you say, oh, you prove that. What do you mean? I don't know where you refer to. You know what I mean? So, that's the point me I make. We must not worship Haile Selassie. We must not make him no king over we. He's not our brother. You understand? So, these African leaders now have come out and apologize for them rolling at the transatlantic slave trade because this is part of history where they never really want to talk about. You know them way there? They didn't want to left it out because during this time of Haile Selassie, Marcus Garvey, this pro-African thing did a, you know what I mean? Did I get promoted? We're upon the time. All right, so we are going to read some more article and then close out. But this Africa thing is now being pushed because the oppressor say we are African, see? And black people now free from slavery, not knowing whether to go left or to go right. say, look, we need to go back to our roots in Africa, which is not our root, it's just where the oppressor tell we that we are. See? So this is what, you know what I mean, this pro-African thing was trying to facilitate, and them ignore the elephant in the room, that Africa are just a part, as much a part to play in our slavery like the oppressor. Let me read this. This says the anti-colonial counterpoint needed to go back and retrieve from the African past what was salvageable after everything African had been debased by the slave trade. You understand? So everything African was debased by the slave trade, meaning we were brought over here in slavery. They taught us that we are Africa. So we never really look so much good about Africa. You know what I mean? Them tell we say Africa, you know what I mean? Well, what they taught us, Africa was the place where people walk up and down naked. During that time, yeah, true. See? So we are looking for something salvageable to get from Africa. Yeah, we are Africans, so but what we can get from Africa, we can, you know what I mean, inspire we. Yeah, them eat, you know what I mean, them bathe in a cow piss, but something must do it for we aspire to. Yeah, them walk around naked and tattoo, yeah, them bore up them face and bore up them this and them that. But yeah, what we can get from Africa, that is what them say. We are trying to salvage something from Africa. See? So it said, was salvageable after everything Africa had been debased by the slave trade. What were the aspects of African culture, see, of Africa that could be heralded even as we succumb to the European definition of what is beauty, what is good. So during this time now, when they might try make the African image glorious, they must search for things glorious about Africa. They must search for good things about Africa, you know. But me read, see? Any discussion of the pre-colonial Africa involvement in the slave trade and the persistent problem of slavery within African society were topics incompatible with the Pan-African project and the search for a glorious past. So you see, the fact that Africa was complicit with our slavery, it wasn't compatible with the narrative that they were trying to push about Africa. They wanted to sell us our Wakanda. You understand? So the Pan-African movement back them time, they were Marcus Garvey and them. Them never want to give with the bad part of Africa. They want to ignore the fact that Africa was with slave catchers. They were the one catching us. So them create this Wakanda perception of Africa and sell it away. Let me continue reading. Any discussion of the pre-colonial African involvement in the slave trade and the persistent problem of slavery within Africa society were topics incompatible with the Pan-African project and the search for a glorious past. Pan-Africanism, that is what Muta Baruka believe in. That is the Pan-African. Dr. Umar Johnson and them are Pan-Africanists. So the early Pan-Africanism people, them never want to address the elephant in the room, but they rather sell you the dream about Africa. I see him thing Muta do today. Muta don't want to tell us that Africa is a terrible place. He want to sell you the lie, so you go back to Africa. But him not going. Him go visit. Him not going to go live. You understand? Let me continue reading. This history of slavery, well, I'm not done. See? This history of slavery was not the history that was expected to be told. African historians were intent on refuting negative European collective thinking about Africa. So the movement, the Pan-African movement, was initially to make the Europeans them look bad, which is good. Yeah, the Europeans them evil. Them enslave we. See? But while them a search for the evil of the Europeans them find the evil of the Africans them too. Them find that the Europeans and the Africans were joined hand in hand in our slavery. I never that them want. I never that them want. But I that them fine. Let me continue reading. See? African historians were intent on refuting negative European collective thinking about Africa and countering image and stereotypical depiction of Africa. How do you reconcile the deep involvement in the slave trade? So yeah, the white man are the devil the Bible speak of, and he's going into slavery. The white man is going into slavery. But what about the Africans them who help the white man in slavery? Them are going to slavery too. And we are not Africans. You understand? We are not no funky Africans. Far from it. See, let me continue reading. The vile system of slavery with a redeemable pre-colonial history that countered the European and their white narrative of Africa. All right. Hold on. All right. This is another article. This is the Washington Post. For over 200 years, powerful kings in what is now the country of Benin captured and sold slaves to Portugal. French and British merchants. The slaves were usually men, women, and children from rival tribes. You know who were those rival tribes? The Israelites, who were in their land and they wanted to get out of them land. We were the rival tribes. And like we always tell people, no nation will sell them own people in a slavery. No nation will enslave their own people or sell them own people in a slavery. It don't make no sense. Then when you sell a slave, you need to sell a strong slave, right? That is a soldier. When you sell a female slave, it have to be a beautiful and healthy female slave. That's your wife. Nobody are going to sell them own people in a slavery, but them will sell the next people in a slavery though. And that's why we are tell our black people them will love Africa so much. They were not selling their own people. They were selling you because you were not their people. You understand? Natural way dread. You are just a child. What do you know? More than you, by far. All right. Chris Big said, brother, the truth hurt. I'm here to learn and heal. No time for eating, just say. You know what I mean? I saw it go, man. So it go. So it go, you know, because them teach you to love Africa, you know. So one of the time them I'll meet it have to break away from this Africa witchcraft. You understand? You understand? So it said, the slaves were usually men, women, and children from rival tribes, gagged and jammed into boats bound for Brazil, Haiti, and the United States. So you see him Haiti. The same Haiti where Kenyan troops are getting ready to go to analyze. Come to find out these Africans used to sell people, were the sellers of these same Haitians. They are the ones behind Haiti being in Haiti, the Haitians being in Haiti right now, under captivity. Natural way say, are you a Rasta? Far from it. Far, far from it. You know what I mean? We are the I.S.U.P.K and the commanding general, YAHANNA. We are the original Hebrew Israelites. And Rastafariism are going to be a no thing soon in Jamaica because the truth will come out. That Haile Selassie was a slave trader. You understand? I'm going to close the class out on that note. Remember, like, share, subscribe, follow, leave your comments and your questions in the chat. You know what I mean? Call the number in the bio if you want to be a part of the school. You know what I mean? Commanding General YAHANNA is recruiting soldiers. You understand? And with that, we'll jump to the security announcements. All right, these are the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. Where the I.S.U.P.K started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find this in the book of Numbers chapter 18 and 21 and Malachi chapter 3 verse 8 to 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'aishara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. All right, so go over to ISUPK.com and pay your tithes, support the truth. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you'd like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation, let me find that quick and fast. One second. All right, the next Holy Convocation is the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets. One second, this PDF reader have an ad span it. One second. All right, so the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets. This is the first day of the 7th month, Wednesday the 2nd of October. You can find this in the book of Leviticus 23, verse 24 to 25. You understand? Just tune into I.S.U.P.K. You know what I mean? If you want to celebrate the memorial of the blowing of the trumpet with us. You understand? These are holy days that the Most High gave to us. You understand? He never give Christmas and Easter and them holidays that the oppressor give us. You understand? So just tune into I.S.U.P.K. Call the number for more info. You know the thing already. All right. So the memorial of the blowing of the trumpet, you know what I mean, is the next Holy Convocation. All right. So reminding Akiam and Akwatiam to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he's to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, we say I.M.A.D.I.U.M, which means to stand. Sarah upon your Aquadam, which means turn and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew and then in English. Abanawa, Shabashamaya, Kodash, Aya, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwatka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Aya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Aya, Bashamaya, Nafananawa, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalaklanawa, Kawabwatnawa, Kasalatnawa, Kawabwatanawa, Wala'a, Tabaya Anawa, Banasayawan, Abal, Awashainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wa'ala, Wa'athapara, La'aiwalamya. Amen. In English, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever so be it. Amen. Sorry, which means to turn. We're going to give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, I.M.A.D.I.U.M Shabbat, I.M.A.D.I.U.M, Barak, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Barakathum, Yanamata, class dismissed. All right, remember, like, share, subscribe, depending on the platform that you're watching on. You understand? Get out of that Rastafari community, that Christian church. Get inside of the I.S.U.P.K, both brothers and sisters. This is the home of the truth. This is where you get your culture back. This is how you learn how to serve the Most High the right way. You understand? And with that, Shalom.